Hi, I'm Keisha Casiano, and I'm an elementary art teacher here in Fort Worth, Texas, and welcome to the Art of Education University Run the Art Room, where we are going to equip you with tips and tricks to add to your classroom management toolkit. In today's episode, we are talking about entering and exiting the art room. Be sure to click the link below in the description box for more curated resources to help you be successful in running your art room. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the Art of Education University for more videos just like this. Let's get started.
At the start of class, I invite my students in with a smile and a sign on the door. This might invite them to place their materials on the countertop or to go to their seat or sit spot on the carpet. It might also instruct them to look for instructions on the board or for my older kids on Schoology. This both welcomes and tells my students how to prepare for the hour.
Okay, it is now time to come to art and enter the art room. My classroom is at the very end of our hallway, and the kids know that when they come to art, they're going to be standing on a piece of tape outside. There are two pieces of tape, two different colors for a very specific reason. What they're going to do is they're going to walk around down the hallway, come around, and they're going to stop, hands down by their side, behind their backs, in their pockets, showing me the quiet expectations. And then I will come out, and this is the time that I will kind of go over expectations, remind them of any reminders, if they need to grab an apron, or sometimes even pass out artwork to save time so they're spending more time creating the classroom. Once we go over that, they come in, they sit down, and then we start with whatever art project we're doing.
A great routine that I have that helps me in the morning is sketchbook prompt do nows. So when my students come in every morning and afternoon, they know to immediately grab their sketchbook, and when the bell rings, there will be a prompt on the board. They have 5 minutes to draw something related to the prompt, and it starts everyone off on a good foot. It gets us in the creative spirit, and then it also gives me that extra 5 minutes if I forgot to do something. I can get it done in that quick time, and then we can all start at the same time.
So I have each of my tables labeled by number, and this just helps me throughout the day with classroom procedures. So I'll call them by table to do certain things. Like I might say table 6, you can go to sink number 1 and wash your hands, or table 6, go grab a messy mat. If you sit in front of the blue circle, go grab a messy mat for everybody at your table. Each seat also has a colored circle in front of it. It might say red circles, go grab Sharpies from the supply shack, and they'll go and they'll do that job. And it just helps things move a lot smoother. The less kiddos we have moving around, the more efficient things are.
This is kind of just a very basic setup in the morning with the bins. All my tables are color coded, and then here is the rest of the space.
An organizational system that I have set up in the classroom is that every single table in here has a supply cart just like this. And in the supply cart, I have things like rulers, scissors, markers, glue sticks, color pencils, anything that they're gonna need for the day for the class is always gonna be in these supply carts. Also, these carts are great because they're on wheels, and so I can have my supply managers, and the supply managers are responsible for getting the supplies for the table for the day. They can wheel this over to their table, and then everyone at their table has access to the supplies that they're gonna need for the class. I also get down as far as labeling my cart with a certain color. So this one is the blue tables because it has the blue wording on it, and I'll know that this is the blue tables cart. I also color code everything else in the classroom according to their tables, as far down to I have the blue bin, the blue cart, the blue table, the blue sponge. As much as I can label and tag with that certain color for that table, I will do that. So when it comes time to clean up, it'll make things a lot faster for you. You'll know that if the blue bin is out, hey, blue table, you forgot to put away your bin today. You'll know what table didn't clean up. It's also easy if you assign a student to be the supply manager for the day. That person will go ahead and they'll organize this cart for me and make sure everything is looking nice and neat again, and then they'll push it back to where the cart belongs. So that's just one of the things that works really well for me in my class.
So at each table at all times, I have these supplies. We have construction paper crayons, regular crayons, pencils and erasers in here, sharpeners, scissors, glue sticks, and our code for Artsonia. My students use it pretty often. So because these are things that we use daily, they just stay at the desk so the students can grab them whenever they need.
Some other things that I want to touch on that we work on in our class is visual journals. So instead of just having a weekly sketchbook assignment, the visual journal is a little bit more of a free option that they can do in their sketchbook. And it's based off of one word or one prompt per week. And this week their word is gigantic. Other weeks it has been the word magic, doorway, large, small, green. The only requirements that I have for the visual journal is that they have to use up most of the page, they have to use 2 different supplies, they have to have words, and they have to put effort into their drawing of whatever they choose to do. And then it also helps for students that are early finishers. Then I can say, hey, work on the visual journal so that you can have something for the kiddos to work on while you're helping other ones finish their project.
Awesome Artist is something that I learned from my mentor back when I was student teaching, and I have honestly used it consistently every year. Really the only thing that I change is the prizes, but as far as like the actual like system itself with the cards has been the same, and it has worked, it has helped me, and the kids go crazy about it and they love it. So what it is essentially is I go to Walmart, Target, I mean really can go to any store and I get the 12 by 12 album paper. So for example, these are some of like the more patterned ones. I'm not a big fan of these because you really can't see the handwriting, but here are some examples of like the smaller ones that I use sometimes. And you can just see there's all these like different patterns, prints, and the ones that I really like are the ones that look like watercolor paper, and it's like these very bright, vivid colors, and you can see here's some kind of like these like watercolor designs. But really all I write, and I have chicken scratch handwriting, y'all. I have always a good Sharpie on me, and I just put a few swirls, a few lines, and write awesome artist, and then their name. I went ahead and just used mine as the example, and then just from art, that's it. So usually when I'm making the awesome artist, the kids are sitting there quietly, and this is done at the last like minute before we leave for class. And I acknowledge the awesome artist. They do a big drum roll, and then when I announce the person, they give them a big clap. Give me a 2-finger drum roll. And today's awesome artist goes to Mr. Give him a round of applause. Wait. I got this idea from the Busy Brush, and she talks about how she uses vinyl stickers. Y'all, these stickers, y'all. The kids are obsessed with these. I don't know. I mean, they're really nothing crazy. I mean, like, look, there's school's fun. I mean, there's a flamingo, like, but the kids love them. You can literally get a bundle of like 500 stickers for about $8. Okay, so now it's time to exit the art room, and there are 3 things that I look for. Number 1 is they have to work together to clean their area, and that is no trash on the floor, the artwork is put up on the drying rack, the supplies are put up on the countertops, and number 2, their baskets must be clean. Most of the time I just have their pencils and that's it, but sometimes depending on the projects that we're doing, I have these little caddies that are prepped with their basic supplies. And then once they are done with the first 2 steps, the last step is that they have to have their heads down and they are working together as a team. Once I start seeing tables put their heads down, that's when I will start calling on tables. Most of the time it's in the order of how fast they cleaned up or whoever did the best job of helping other tables. And then once I start calling on tables, they line up on the blue line that I have marked in the front of the floor. It does go around my room, and they know to stand there with their hands either down by their side, in their pockets, behind their backs, not touching other friends. I would just call on a few friends that were following directions during cleanup, or they're standing nice and still in line, and I just give them a sticker, and it encourages other friends to also do the same thing.
When it comes to dismissal, a lot of the times I'll have kids trying to kind of leave my class, or they're getting a little rowdy, But I found that if I put up some general trivia questions or some fun music or guessing games on my smart board from YouTube, it keeps them entertained, it helps them kind of wind down for the end of the day, and everyone generally leaves with some good vibes. So I try to have that up on the board when we leave so that dismissal is a little bit more of a happy time than a stressful time.
Okay, one of my favorite classroom management tips when it comes to exiting the classroom is probably this right here, and it is literally a piece of tape to indicate where the stools go. I have a pretty large classroom, and I have a lot of tables and a lot of chairs. At the end of the class period, when it's time to clean up, the kids just find a tape and find the missing chair that goes with that. This has been a game changer on keeping my stools nice and organized.
Hey, our teacher friends, that's a wrap. If you have any additional tips, we will love to continue the conversation in the comments section below. Stay tuned for our next episode where we are going to be discussing sync systems. For more tips and tricks like this for art teachers by other art teachers, make sure you like and subscribe to the Art of Education University for more videos just like this. Until next time, bye!